You're listening to the Trading Bear Podcast. This is episode 41, The Daily Show.
Mystery player. Position.
Forward.
Start price.
£2.93.
Current price.
£4.50.
PB.
7p.
MB.
28p.
Dividend yield.
7.8%.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining again. In the news today, the footy continues its strong run with today's market, Tuesday the 30th of April, acting as the deposit bonus day. Midnight tonight acts as the deadline for the first summer deposit bonus, with traders receiving a 10% bonus on their net buys for the last 15 days. With a maximum potential bonus of £1,000, the market has seen huge buying action both today and the days leading up to today, with the usual Sunday night, Monday morning dip not seen at all this week. Some are therefore speculating that we'll see a crash tomorrow, but I don't personally see this happening. Instead, it will repeat the pattern of a normal post-deposit bonus day, i.e. a slight slowdown in the buying, but still some small growth before a few flat days before the market builds again ahead of the summer for deposit bonus part 2, and of course those extra media dividend payout positions. Elsewhere, as the market itself continues to boom, as do the rumoured transfers. With the European club season edging towards its finale, the transfer rumours kick into full flow. 3 stories from today, and Tottenham have rejected an €18 million bid for English international Kieran Trippier from Napoli, with Manchester United also thought to be keen. Atletico Madrid joined Leicester City in the hunt for Spal striker Andrea Petagna, and Chelsea joined Bayern Munich in the race to sign Nice's hat-trick hero defender Youssef Attal, with the 22-year-old rumoured to be valued at around £40 million. That's according to the Telegraph. And lastly in the news today, PSV boss Mark van Bommel is reportedly on Milan's list of potential new coaches to replace Gennaro Gattuso, with van Bommel, should that go through, following in the footsteps of Gattuso himself, Clarence Seedorf and Filippo Inzaghi, who returning to manage at the club they once played for. That's today's news, and now let's move into today's risers and fallers. With the market booming, there was no shortage of choice to discuss in today's riser. I seemingly could have picked anyone connected with the Dutch club of Ajax. If the kit man was on Football Index, I think he would have seen a 14p rise today as well. So away from the obvious rise of Ajax players, with a match against Spurs in the Champions League semi-final, we look at another young 21-year-old making headlines in the Premier League, long known to be a talent, and now making himself aware to the match of the day audience. It's Leicester's on-loan midfielder, Youri Tielemans. Tielemans has seen a rise of 17p to take his price to £2, the same price I coincidentally sold him at in old money terms just a few months back in December, after Monaco's miserable season continued. Tielemans, though, deserves this rise after a string of impressive performances, which have alerted the bigger fish in the EPL pond. Tielemans remains less than certain that he wishes to return to Leicester on a full-time basis, but Leicester have the makings of a decent side, and under possession-based manager in Brendan Rodgers, staying at Leicester would be far from bad news for holders. It can quickly all change though, especially at this transfer time of the year, as holders of today's biggest faller will testify. And today's biggest faller is Norwegian talent Martin Odegaard, currently enjoying a fine season of Vitesse Arnhem in the Dutch league, on loan from parent club Real Madrid. He has in recent days been linked with another loan move in the Dutch league next season. This time the paper's suggesting a 2-year loan deal at everybody's current favourite club, Ajax. The player himself recently stated, "I'm ready to take the next step. I want to keep growing as a player. I want to finish the season strongly with Vitesse and then make a decision. But I'm only 20 years old and I want to play in the Champions League." With Madrid reluctant to let go of the player at this stage in his development, a loan move to Ajax could well suit all parties. All parties except Football Index traders who recently purchased futures in Odegaard, maybe. However, the move is yet to be confirmed, and I think we might see a price recovery in the next few weeks. Next, we look at our daily prospect player, a player who I feel could do well in the near future. For today's player, we head into the northwest of England, to the city of Liverpool, but not to Anfield and rather their blue and white neighbours at Goodison Park, Everton, and a player who's had a fine second half of the season, producing a PB average of over 100 at 104.47, a dividend yield of 13%, with peak scores of 210 and 232, is 25-year-old French fullback Lucas Digne. Everton have a single game day coming up on Friday at home to Burnley, and the marauding fullback racks up his high average PB largely due to the sheer volume of crosses he produces each match, as well as the bonus of sharing some set-piece duties with Sigurdsson. Priced at a kind 89p, he has already seen a 9p rise in the past few days, perhaps down to a recent article by Index Sharp, which is well worth a read if you haven't already. While many may now think the time is not to buy PB players, there's still a few games this season left, and Digne is the talent I expect to be amongst the early PB buying action. Today's prospect player, therefore, is Everton fullback Lucas Digne. Let's head into some of your questions now. Today's first question comes from the official forum, with Brad asking, what do you think will happen to this Ajax team over the close season, and as a result, their prices on Football Index? Well, firstly, Brad, I think we have to give great credit to this Ajax team, with victories over Real Madrid, Juventus and Benfica, even before their matchup with Tottenham. Secondly, there's definitely an air of Monaco 2017 about them. A young team, full of rich talent and high energy that was ripped apart as the vultures of Manchester City, PSG and Liverpool circled, to snatch away talents as Bernardo Silva, Kylian Mbappe and Fabinho respectively. There's no doubt that sadly this Ajax team will follow in the same vein, with some moves such as De Jong to Barcelona already arranged. I expect the likes of De Ligt and Ziyech to follow suit and leave the club with their respective prices at least holding or possibly even rising further depending on where they end up, the EPL being the promised land here. It's those left behind though that I think you have to be very wary of. The likes of Neres, Van der Beek, and most definitely Dusan Tadic may well still be at Ajax when the 2019-20 season kicks off next season. With almost certainty, these players' prices will experience a drop that could well be quite steep in some instances. So by all means buy Ajax players, but make sure you consider the whole scene and don't get caught out by those players currently way overpriced. The second question comes via email, with Leanne Judd writing, once again, Football Index has been paid out on the wrong player for PB dividends. This is becoming an alarming regularity that surely only harms the overall product. Interested to know your view. Yes, Leanne, there's no getting away from it. The more frequent this happens, i.e. the wrong player being paid out on, and by proxy the correct player not being paid, then the more damage this does to Football Index as a product. It's hard to nail down exactly what the problem is, or indeed what caused the root of the problem in the first instance, without obviously working at FIA headquarters. It does seem to have happened though in and around the time of the mainframe migration period, which took place over a multiple period of weeks between January and March of this year. One thing is for certain though, they must get this sorted sooner rather than later, and most certainly before the new season and the predicted huge new influx of users joins the platform. I don't think traders would mind if the payments were delayed from its current rough payment time of 1 AM each day to a later time of say 8 AM in the morning for example, if this meant that a worker could manually check the payment code was carried out when they arrived at the office that morning. Clearly the automated algorithm, or whatever system is currently used, is not fit for purpose and will soon become a tool to which to beat the product with a stick with, which after the hugely successful season Football Index has had and the massive changes it has undergone would be a real shame. There's been a lot of great work at the Football Index, it now needs to focus on ironing out these issues. And that's it for this episode. You can download and subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify and Podbean. Head over to the website to send in a question, tradingbearpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can find me on Index Gain or Twitter under the name Trading Bear. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the mystery player.
Mystery player. Position.
Forward.
Start price.
£2.93.
Current price.
£4.50.
PB.
7p.
MB.
28p.
Dividend yield.
7.8%.
Trading Bear. Today's mystery player was Harry Kane.